Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Is the mic working? Do you hear me? Thank you very much, Gore. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. I'll be right back. Can y'all hear me good? Oh, let's hope this works. My camera has given me guff all morning. Ah! Okay. Stand by. One moment. Yes. Okay. Got it working. I restarted it in the app. In this OBS, you can like disable the source and re-enable it. That fixed it. Sorry for the delay and the minor technical difficulties off the bat. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Today is the Dam Stream, which is essentially a showcase of community shared maps, assets, techniques, building tips and tricks, and the stream is kind of hosted in like an AMA format. Basically, feel free to ask me anything related to Dungeon Alchemist, and throughout the stream I'll do my best to answer your questions. Hello, Sailor Yugoth, how are you? So, I'm not gonna lie, I've been sick all week. I am not feeling very good. And today's stream is probably going to be shorter than normal. Probably only about an hour. My throat is hurting. I feel just a little bit under the weather, let's just say that. I've had basically like a flu all week. And then at the tail end of the flu, after I got over that, well, I guess I'm still kind of in it. I don't know. I'm like still feeling just under the weather. I'm not as bad as I was a couple of days ago, but I just feel wiped, you know, like I'm dehydrated and super tired. And anyway, I just appreciate everyone being patient with me today if I'm being a little out there or random or maybe even a little short, because having a rough week. But yeah, I've been mostly just kind of sleeping and things we don't want to discuss because I've not felt well. Hey, Swedish Cook, how are you? So, this map you see in front of you was actually shared with me by some creators in our community named Grim Maven. I found Grim Maven on Instagram, and they have a Patreon, and they also post maps occasionally on Reddit. But they're a map-making duo from Australia, and they build custom maps and commissions and stuff like that. And this is one of the maps they made. It's quite interesting, but it's called the Jagged Teeth, and this is a ship that's like an icebreaker pushing up into a kind of a remote region, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a very beautiful map. Unfortunately, it's not available on the workshop, but I really just wanted to bring attention to their work, as it's a stunning build. So I'm sorry that I don't have like a way to share this map, but I just wanted to showcase it and let you all see it and enjoy it for its glory, you know? Obviously, you know, there's creators in our community who make maps for commission or for Patreon and the like, and many of them will make their maps and keep them, you know, behind a paywall, which I understand. Others will do free maps like once a month, or free map packs or whatever, like kind of... I look at them like how Costco undersells their hot dogs. It's like a loss leader. You're trying to get people interested in your brand and your style, so you give away free maps as advertising, and then people come and check you out. um, this particular map, I saw them post it on Instagram, and I was just like, this thing is beautiful. I was wanting to check it out. I was like, is it on the workshop? They're like, oh, it's not, unfortunately. I'm like, oh, what do I got to do to get this map? So they actually put this asset on the workshop for me and set it to private so I could get access to it, and then they shared the damn file with me. Like, I begged them to send me a few maps to share. I've done this with a couple other creators in the past who mainly do maps for sale instead. So I love sharing your work with our community and you know, getting your name out there. Just because everyone in our community uses Dungeon Alchemist doesn't mean they may not have a need for, you know, your maps. So, quick little sound off. I know we got a bunch of Twitch people. Is there anyone here from, say, Facebook or YouTube at the moment? I would love to know, or Twitter, Kick, Provo, anyone here from those platforms? I'd be interested to know if anyone's watching. It is a large ship. Hey, Asmodeus, how you doing, my friend? Say, so you do. I gotta mod you over on YouTube really quick, actually. Got a couple. The only people watching are mod. This other day. That doesn't matter. There we go. Fixed. Yeah. So this map is not only beautiful, a serene like landscape set in, you know, a tundra like environment, an icy wilderness, but the ship is a great addition. From my understanding is they have either found a source of like open source models that they use, or they make their own, or they found an artist who helps them with models. I'm not 100% certain on the ship where it came from. It does look cool, doesn't it? Just noticed I'm not wearing my headphones, so I don't really hear the music, but honestly, the music would be too loud right now, so I'll just leave it playing in the background. You can listen to it on the stream. It should be playing lightly. If it's not, let me know. On the workshop, there are probably 24 ships at the moment. If you go up into the Steam Workshop tab, sorry, I'm gonna contrast this against the background over here. Steam Workshop, and then you go to Browse Assets, Aussie Hero. Just type like ship or boat. There's quite a few there that you can choose from. Additionally, anyone can upload an asset or, you know, import one into Dungeon Alchemist to use for local. So if you want to do that, excuse me, under the same tab, you go to Open Asset Importer. And from here, you can import 3D models. STL files are importable, but they'll look kind of like a flat gray, kind of like a mini. And when you import them into DA, there are color filters for them that you can swap between, but they're all solid colors. Or you can do like full color 3D models. So as you can see, this like wooden door is a great kind of segue towards, say, something like a boat or a ship. If you can find a 3D model online that is a FBX or GLTF/GLB file, they can be imported into Dungeon Alchemist. And I would say that every Sunday, or every other Sunday, and this upcoming Sunday, so tomorrow, Asmodeus, one of our amazingly awesome mods, shares his skills and talent and showcases how to do cool stuff in Blender. Asmodeus, what are you going to be showcasing tomorrow? I'm seeing what he says because he's watching from the YouTube channel, if I'm not mistaken. Yo, so what are you going to be doing tomorrow? What are you going to be showcasing tomorrow on the on Blender Basics? Is it animations tomorrow? Uploading mini houses so peeps can create cities. That's awesome. Okay. Vertex painting with bake process and sculpting. So essentially, like, is that like the texture mapping type stuff? Okay, cool. So tomorrow, in a stream that is hosted in our Discord, let me get a link for that. I'm going to drop this on every stream. So this is a link to our Discord, and that is to the event, which you can click interested, RSVP. And the event will remind you when we go live tomorrow. The stream takes place in Discord, so you'll have to have access to Discord. Discord's free. A Discord account is pretty simple to set up if you don't have one, and I honestly recommend joining our Discord server because it's the biggest amalgamation of our community. There's over 33,000 members in our Discord, and it grows daily, and it's a great place to chat with other GMs and kind of brainstorm ideas for your campaign. Get support. There's a question and support forum. You can share assets and maps, and you can just hang out and chat and get to know other cartographers and GMs in our community. It's a great place to be in general. Now, kind of getting back to what I was saying here, with the 3D model importer, you can import all sorts of stuff. This door obviously is wooden and banded. I was just kind of showing that as a simple whatever. Here is Hendrik as a fortune teller type thing. Hey, Sack, how are you, buddy? So you can get a little bit more intricate depending on whether you're able to find detailed models online or you're able to make them yourself. Not really. Not really, Sack. I'm still quite. Let's just say I'm about 2/3 better. This morning I woke up and I felt like I'd been hit by a freight train, but I did not want to miss 2 streams this week. I've never missed 2 streams unless there was like a holiday or something, you know? So I take it upon, I pride myself in trying to make sure I'm available for the streams, because, you know, there's only so many time slots during the week, so I want to make sure I'm there. Anyway, I mentioned this earlier before you came in. I'm not feeling the best. Stream's gonna probably be a bit shorter today. Yeah. Anyway. But we're here nonetheless. This map, I mentioned it earlier for those that are just jumping in. Welcome. I'm going to try and take it easy after stream today. I'm going to get some rest. Honestly, dude, I owe you an apology, by the way. I didn't even get a chance to look at your map because after the doctor's office, I basically just passed out. Was asleep all day. I got some tests done and a vaccination, and then I was wiped out. These ones cannot. No, this is just a simple standard object. The creator of this map sourced this model either through a third party that made it custom for them, or they made it themselves, or they maybe found a website online that offers 3D models to that degree and then imported it into DA using the asset importer that I showed earlier. So there are some available on the workshop, but not this particular ship. if you want to raise up the sales and stuff, you're probably going to have to wait for our high seas update, which is slated at some point way down the road. It's probably going to be our last or second to last update, and basically it's going to include ships, oceans, the ability to build ships, like intricate ships. I've been told we'll have like a shipyard, and the shipyard will allow you to build ships and save them and share them, from my understanding. So it'll be like a new section within DA, similar to this Steam Workshop tab. Yeah, a lot of people are looking forward to High Seas. Other people are looking forward to Instant Dungeon. I know a lot of people are very excited for Magic, our next update, which is... I can probably say, you know, let's just say middle of May to end of May is a pretty optimistic, like, window at this point. I've been told numerous times that we are getting very, 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 very close. Like, i.e. the stretch, the last little bit before we launch. So I would say we're within 20 to 40 days, hopefully. Yep, he did indeed, Dag. Yeah, he said it would be called a shipyard or something like that, where you could build ships. And I'm assuming it'll have a bunch of different parts that you can kind of like snap together and then make custom ships. Kind of like a Lego, but better. I am assuming it'll be like a simplified 3D building system where we'll include a bunch of stuff, and then people can also import maybe custom stuff and then make, you know, custom stuff. Speaking of Whim, should I just say that Whim will be present on a stream in just a few days? Do you ever attend our office hours streams? Because if you don't, you should. Here is an event that's coming up. Kind of like Spore, kind of like the creature builder. You know, a little bit like the ship builder, I guess. Don't you have to build a ship at one point? I remember kind of vaguely. I haven't played Spore in years. So, did everyone get that link? I hope so. Basically, if you follow that event, Whim will be with us this Wednesday. And he will be joining us for Office Hours, which is our kind of weekly hangout stream in Discord. The Office Hour streams are a little bit more laid back. They're designed to be, you know, like a live support, but also like feedback and suggestion time. Usually I take very, you know, diligent notes. And we usually will pick a section of DA and go from there. You know, I haven't heard anything, so I do know that there wasn't going to be a VOD unless they were like one of the top panels. And I'm not sure if they were one of the top panels or not. They haven't said anything about it, so I'm leading no. I will say I do have some news about the makeshift plushie thing. The results came in and from the community after the poll. And Hendrik won by a landslide. It was 2-1 votes with Hendrik over Eliza. So basically what's going to happen next is we're going to craft a makeshift campaign. Makeshift is a beautiful, interesting concept that essentially kind of like a Kickstarter for plushies. And we'll put up a plushie design, and they'll tell us if it's possible. And then when we come to a compromise on a design, they will allow us to advertise our makeshift campaign. And essentially, if we raise enough interest, if there's enough backers, then we ship out the plushies to everyone who backed. I am definitely interested in getting at least a handful. Because I want to be able to give away some plushies later, like ship them out. Are you, Gamroot? So there will be, most likely at some point in the near future, a Hendrik-themed makeshift plushie. I'm hoping we'll do other makeshifts. Whim was pretty dead set on Eliza winning, but The results are clear. Um, I'm sorry, she lost. In fact, let me pull it up really quickly so y'all can see it. Where is? Honestly, I'm like moving at the rate of a sloth today. I feel so slow. I can't really like process stuff right now. Okay, so we had 130 responses. That means 130 different people voted. I set it up so you had to have like a Google account in order to vote, meaning I tried to prevent, spam votes because I was worried about someone being like, I really want this one and just spamming it all day with hundreds of votes. I wanted an accurate tally. And so here is the vote. I was hoping for more votes, but overall, I think, we got a good idea of what the community wants. Yeah, that's true, Zach. If Hendrik goes well, Eliza could follow. That is awesome, Roan. That is so cool. Any opportunity to bond with your kids is amazing, and tabletop gaming, map making, DMing is a great activity for young kids. It's great to help them learn math, social skills. It's they can role play and learn how to handle different situations. And honestly, it's one of those games that allows them to think on their feet and outside the box instead of being confined to like a very strict rule set or like a you get what I'm saying, like most video games are. And to be honest with you, we love seeing when the youth in our community make maps and share them. So if any of you have kids that make maps and are using, let's see them. I'd love to see them in the Discord, or let me know and share them on the workshop so I can share them on the stream. My son used to be way into DA for a few months, and then he got diagnosed with carpal tunnel, poor boy, and he has been struggling to use the computer as of late as he finds a balance with his new braces and stuff like that. Hey, Casper, how are you doing? What do you mean, Casper? Would you like to elaborate on that? Welcome back, Swifty. Hope you're well. Let's open up another map from the workshop. So Casper says the community wants to build in more layers without having to fiddling with coding and stuff. I mean, you can definitely build in more layers without fiddling with coding at all. There is tools and functions within DA to build multi-level stuff without any manipulation of the coding. So you want to use the AI to build multiple floors, is what you're saying. Got it. So essentially, I just want to make sure, are you aware that if you, by hand move things and stack things, you can build intricate multi-level structures? And by that, I mean, like, there is multiple levels within inside of this thing. This is just one example. But it is possible. It just takes, a little bit more work. Now, if you want the AI to do it, we are on a path to do that. And I would not recommend anyone messing with the coding in DA because it's not supported by our staff or community members. So if you start tinkering around and messing with stuff in DA or in your maps and it starts breaking things, we can't really do anything to help you. So this here required no extra coding to do. This is just stacking objects, which it's essentially like Lego. I mean, or blocks. You know, pretty much everyone in the world is experienced playing with that stuff at some point. There are maps that better showcase multi-level. Let's see here. You know, actually, I'm going to show you one of my maps that has it. So I would say it's not impossible given the tool set within DA. It's very possible given the stock tools. And I'm going to show you a couple things. That would be Sailor Yugoth who made that. Now, Casper, have you seen some of the teasers that we have for our next update that have been showcasing the various things you'll be able to do? So like this here, this required no trickery at all. It's just objects stacked on top of each other. And that's a 3-floor like lighthouse that I converted into like a pub and gambling hall. So it is entirely possible to do these types of things, but it you know, I just put an object up, stacked another object on top of it, put objects on top of that object. It's essentially like a balancing game of Jenga meets Lego until you get it just right. So it does take a lot more time and a little bit of patience. Totally possible. To do that, you go into DA. If you disable collisions right here, you can then merge objects together, but it opens up a whole bunch of possibilities. One particular is objects can be raised up and down. So this allows you to build second floors by hand a lot easier because you can raise up a floor piece like a wood plane or a stone panel or something like that to be the second floor or third floor, if that makes sense. You also have the ability to scale things down or up almost infinitely when you disable collisions. So it essentially unlocks a lot of functions in DA, allowing you to do so much more. Yeah, man, I look back at that map and I so want to remake it, and I know you don't want to, but I still think we should. Now, like, after Magic launches, with all the new stuff, and like, it'd be so beautiful. This has some multi-level, where essentially we did it kind of like an isometric cutaway, where you could see a second floor on one side. And that's really how it was in their home, is it really only had a second floor above on like a tiered area. This is the cottage, the Sanderson sisters cottage from Hocus Pocus. I made this in collaboration with SAC, not last Halloween, but the Halloween before, to just kind of have some fun and see what was possible. Anyway, had a lot of fun setting this up. An interesting map. So there is multi-level here, and all we did was a lot of these little panes, platforms, were stacked up to make extra levels. So it looks like a floor, but it's just like there's a bunch of them stacked up. You can see the wall outside. Now, there are wall objects that can be placed at any height. You go here to freestanding walls. I built it with that in mind, Swifty Goth. So what I did is I put all the objects on top of the floor and built it that way. So essentially everything is on top of the floor, and I can pull the floor away like a sectional piece. It took a little bit of forethought, you know? So like these, like this wall here, if you disable collisions, show you how to raise it up above this. There's a second floor wall, right? And then if you just hold shift when you place it, and you can even do control to have it snap into place in some instances, it looks a lot cleaner. Here I am making pretty much the whole second floor that took us hours to do before. Frustrating. There is not. You'd have to make a custom flip top, which I've actually done as well. I made a Bob's Burgers map with a flip top counter in it, if I'm not mistaken. No, maybe I ended up not doing the flip top. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've looked at it. We'll take a look. Honestly, like, that's the whole point of these streams, is to share ideas and come up with fun plans for making maps. I didn't do a flip top. So, yeah, I could have sworn I did, but I guess I did not. I may have considered it at some point and then went against it. Shaq says he's got one. Perfumery. Let's check it out. Perfumery. Oh, I could make one now, but I want to just show everyone what he came up with. So it's essentially just a chopping board, and there's like it looks like a switch over there. Yep, those are switches. A lever. So it looks kind of like a hinge. So right now, the approach to building second floors is strictly by hand. It takes a lot of, let's just say, a little bit of planning and forethought, and then just browsing through objects that will work. Under the structural section, in wooden and in stone and metal, there's hundreds of thousands of structural objects that work great for building multiple level structures. And there's hundreds of thousands of examples of multi-level structures on the workshop that use no like file manipulation or code editing or anything like that. Now, moving on from that, I want to show some teasers from our upcoming update that kind of showcase some new features that will allow you to better build structures at any height. Stand by. So stuffy. Feel so congested and like I took some Dayquil before the stream. Yes, that's a great way to do it. In fact, the second floor in my lighthouse was an abstract. The floor had a hole in it going to a staircase below. What I did is I took a picture of the third floor's like round piece on a green abstract in the map, exported it to like, you know, a photo editor, and then cleared out all the green, and then wiped out a little bit of the intersection, and that became like a see-through space in an abstract image. Seymour is helping me. He's been helping me feel a lot better, and also my cat Monty has been snuggling the heck out of me. He came and found me yesterday, or when I wasn't feeling well, and just planted up on me, laid up in my face, and was just purring all over me. He's been taking care of me a lot. Both of my aminals. It's kind of struggling today. So as you can see in this video, you'll be able to, in the next update, raise structures up and down before generating them, which will give you a lot more control than ever before. Casper, I hope you're still here, because this is for you, my friend. This will allow you to essentially have so much more control. Oh, that's perfect, Swifty Goth, Monty Python. That's hilarious. His Monty is actually short for Montrazar. So he is like a gray, like a dark gray Maine Coon. And Maine Coons have like that cool, like kind of Majin Buu emblem on their head. And the M in that's on his forehead, we kind of wanted a name that was cool with an M. And we looked around, and then I remembered there was years ago, there was like this Easter claymation that essentially the Easter Bunny is like being thwarted by someone played by Vincent Price, who has a robot slash like weird like kind of animatronic cyborg bat that does biddings for him, and his name is Montrazar. It was like kind of a gray bat. Anyway, I don't know why I took inspiration from that. But yeah, he does have tufts on his ears. He looks like a forest cat, or like a little, like, he looks like he's actually quite large for a cat. He looks like kind of just an undersized lynx. He's very big. But he has really beautiful like patternings in do you know which movie I'm talking about, Roan? I can't remember what it's called. It's like an old claymation movie akin to like the like Rudolph or Year Without a Santa Claus type stuff, but it's for Easter. And there's like an Easter bunny contest, and they're like competing against each other to see who could be the new Easter bunny, and one of them cheated, i.e. the one played by Vincent Price. Gotcha. That's what it is, Swifty. You are right. Here comes Peter Cottontail. So in the movie Here Comes Peter Cottontail, there's an evil bunny played by Vincent Price, and he's got like a kind of a bat underling named Montrazar, and that's where I got that name from. I'd never heard it before that or after. It's probably an old it's most definitely an old name. Probably has some significance. Yeah, Vincent Price could cook. You know what I mean? When it came to horror, the dude had it like on lock. Pretty much was like, Iron Tail. That's what it was. Oh, nope, I'm out. I'm out. I don't know why I'm getting the little Windows circle today. Like a lot. Surprisingly. Let's open up one more teaser. This showcases how in our next update you'll be able to essentially shape the structure to your whim. Hey Caillou, welcome back. How you doing, my friend? One second. Well, that's awesome, Swifty. I'm sorry I missed it. I usually like am constantly trolling like our category, the D&D category, the art category, and the tabletop RPG. Oh, that's probably why I missed it, because you know, I like to sleep. That's how it is spelled, exactly like that, Dag. Sorry. But I just call him Monty for short. 2 a.m. what time zone though? If that's like Eastern, that could be reasonable for me. That'd be like 11 p.m. for me, so I'd probably watch that. Oh, yeah, you're in mountain time, huh? Mountain time, as my brother would say, because he can't say mountain. That's awesome, Aussie. How did it go? That is so cool, Caillou. The farm cats here started to be, I mean, if you have a lot of farm cats, it makes sense to name them simple names that are easier to remember. Also, I mean, like, farm cat life is the combination of incredibly chill and brutal, if I'm not mistaken. Short at best. Like, they get some cool naps and, like, some neat spots, but yeah, like, they are exposed to the elements, so to speak. That's impressive. So yeah, you just name them Alpha, Beta, stuff like that, probably. Zeta. That's really cool, Caillou. Did your players like it? So y'all know Seymour. I have Seymour, and then we have Montrazar. That's it. We only have the two pets. Yeah, let's take a look at this night. You see this little circle? I keep getting the little Windows circle when I'm in the workshop. It's weird. What kind of cat is Foxtrot? Like a calico or calico? Calico barn cats can be incredibly effective. Um, I've heard that rat terriers are insane good at like managing pests. I've seen videos of like a rat terrier being let loose in a barn that was just infested with rats, and it just destroyed them in like a matter of hours. So how did they explore using DA, Caillou? Baggins, Arthur, and Katniss. Okay, Baggins is obviously from Hobbit. Katniss is Katniss Everdeen, right? So Arthur is that King Arthur, I'm assuming, or is that just what is it inspired by? His once and future king, yes. Women handing out swords and by bodies of water is no way to determine structures of government. Or what is that? What does he say in um uh, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Monty Python. Uther, that'd be cool. Island Lass, I need to see pictures of your cats. I've seen pictures of your horses. They're dope, by the way. She has like adorable ponies. Oh, yes. Where's Kitty? Yeah, around for him.
That little baby. Little baby.
Oh, cool.
Little baby.
Dressage? Fancy. Creepy. Where was he? The clam burger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easily.
These boys, they love each other. They're adorable. I hope y'all are seeing this. Oh, they snug each other. Oh, they do. They're good buddies. They snug each other all the time. They hang out. They play all the time. The boys. Where's the cute? Okay. Okay. We also call Kitty Millard because he is quite chunky. He is big for a cat. Where's your mom? Wet? Is there a pet chat? I mean, there could be.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Right? I'll give him.
Operate. We looked at this map before, but it is beautiful and I wanted to look at it again. I love me an interesting circus. Okay. Wow, your cat kind of looks like my cat. Gore, that video you sent me? It totally was a giant slug. Well, giant snail, technically. Snails have a shell, slugs don't, right? That's really cool, Caillou. I'm glad it went off as it was successful. Like one shot you said it was. I'm glad they enjoyed it. Are you guys and gals planning to play again? Yep, there's one right there. The big bee. Buzz, 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 buzz. Oh. Very cool. If you are making a series on YouTube and it features DA maps, feel free to share it in our DA self-promo section. We have no problem with you sharing your content there as long as it features DA-related content. So, if you're streaming and there's DA in it, or if you're, making YouTube videos, tutorials, or or your campaign features DA maps, or whatever. You get the idea. This is really pretty. I've just been kind of flying around looking at it all. I feel bad for the animals in the cages, if I'm not lying. I don't think a dragon should be in a cage. This here seems like a good way to get your hands bit off. It's just the petting zoo. Yeah, Seisu makes a great point. Our mods don't always have time to go through hours of your video to look for the DA spots in it. So if you're posting a video or a stream or something, if you're gonna be featuring DA in it, make note of it in the post and self promo. Something like we'll be using DA Dungeon Alchemist maps in our campaign, or maybe even a picture of a map in the post. That way it implies that there's DA in it. Goes a long way. This is very true, Sack. He's just hiding out in the cage so people can't get close to him. Interesting take. Not sure what these are. Are they meant to be booths or something? I guess it's just kind of a neat light. I mean, how will I ever know you're live if you don't? Also, you could tag us on any of our social networks. If you tag us on like Twitter or Facebook or whatever, we'll more than likely see it and come check it out. I'm under the weather, Ginger Power. I'm not doing that well today. I've been sick all week and just not on my A game, you know what I mean? But I'm hoping to feel better by Monday or Tuesday. At this rate, it just seems like I've got a couple days left of this. Gotcha. I appreciate you using the Dungeon Alchemist category and for letting someone know about, our Steam page. Yeah, you mentioned you shared it with someone, so I appreciate it. I honestly thought I had COVID and did not have it, so I'm just kind of baffled. I think I have just some kind of really bad flu. I went to the doctor and got some tests done. We'll find out Monday or Tuesday what's going on. But I mean, I just feel way wiped, like dehydrated and worn out. But I do feel much better than I did the other day. That's all I gotta say. Oh. Hey, I can't get in the big top. What the heck? Let me in the big top. Dang it. Ugh. It's true. It could be a variant that is not detected by the test I have. You are very true. I really hope it's not COVID because I would hate for it to spread around my house. That being said, I have been somewhat careful the last few days I was isolating, but Yesterday I was feeling better, and then today I was feeling better, so I was like, I'll try. I just think I'm like in the recovery stage where you're like after you're sick, your body's just like beat, and you are worn out, and you feel icky all over, and like you need a lot of fluids and rest, and you'll just feel a little bit better. That's usually how I'm at, like at this stage at least. So I was hoping to stream a little bit today, hang out with y'all, kind of get my energy levels spiked a little bit, and from hanging out with the community. And then I'm gonna try and get some rest today and tomorrow, and hopefully hit it hard Monday morning. I'll be back. That being said, I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream in about 5 minutes. So if any of you have questions or want a particular map to be showcased or seen, or if you shared a map on the workshop this week and you want me to take a look at it, let me know and we'll do that. Oh, I've been taking some vitamins for sure. Everyone can try and pull out the cork. Is that what this is? Or you can go into the big ship. Oh, shoot. That's a good question, Ginger Power. Honestly, I would say the ability to shape rooms the way you want is incredibly powerful. As a community manager, I'm most happy when our community is happy. Like, I really wish, you know, I could root away all the root out all the problems that you have with DA and get them solved. You know what I mean? But in the next update, you'll be able to do round structures, diagonal structures. You'll be able to rotate buildings. You'll be able to raise structures, sink them down. You'll be able to make all sorts of weird shapes. I mean, all sorts of weird shapes. And the benefit of this is no longer will DA be constricted to square or, you know, kind of fixed shape structures on a grid. They will be on the grid, but really kind of perpendicular to it if you want. You can totally do that. Let's see. Watman, I'm just going to say the last bit of your name, if that's okay. Because I can't pronounce the beginning. Is it Ikdomar Watman? I hope I didn't butcher your name there, so I apologize. But yes, you see right now in first person up at the top, there is an F, little UI prompts for F, R, and escape. F allows you to take a screenshot. R allows you to record. And when you're done recording, it'll pop up a file saved prompt. You hit R, it pops up like that. You can name the file and then save it, and there you go. So you can walk around and do like a walkthrough. You can actually not just do camera stuff in first person, but we also offer a cinematic drone camera too. The first person's nice though, because it is nice to look around in the environment from your player's perspective, their eyes. I've actually seen DMs record walkthroughs or record like a long rest scene where they just looked at like a fire for like 20 seconds and it was like a camp in the middle of the woods. I've seen DMs fly over environments like this, so it's like a familiar scouting out the area. I've seen DMs stream this, so they'll share this feed over Discord and they'll follow along what their players are doing in top down in their virtual tabletop. So if you're playing like, say, Foundry or Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, they'll follow along in first person whatever you're doing in top down. So like every 30 seconds they kind of move up, and then you can be like, hey, did you look inside that tent and see what they have to sell or whatever? I would like to chat with them, or I'd like to check out this ride or take a closer look at it. You can basically, the players have much more opportunity to investigate their environment through their own eyes, which is a very unique feature, to say the least. So one other thing is, if you are out in the external view, you have several camera options. You have this little icon here in the top right, if you can see my mouse. This quickly adjusts the camera view from top down flat, top down 3D, and then free roam 3D. So you can kind of look around and build in free 3D. You also have the cinematic camera, which if you click that, it's similar to the first person camera, but it moves sort of like a drone. You can use WASD and E and Q to move around. So just to give you an idea, I like to get over or something like this and then do a quick flyover. You can record this, run it at like 2 times speed, send it to your wizard or a player with a familiar. Every time they ask for their familiar to fly over, you have the video ready to go. So Dungeon Alchemist is primarily a map-making tool and an immersion tool. So you use these videos in tandem with or the maps you make in tandem with other other tools to facilitate play. So you can either print the map to play in person, you can export the map as a digital file or a video, so it could be like a JPEG or a video that you can play through like a TV tabletop or a projector tabletop if you play in person. You can also take those files to like a print shop and get a big poster printed. Alternatively, we have a partnership with Kraken War Games that you can order a map for print. You can export for print right within it through print and delivery, and they make a neoprene mat that is waterproof, scratch resistant, and they ship it to you. Hey Brendan, welcome back. Now you can add like tokens and stuff to your maps, but unless you're playing in DA directly, those aren't very impactful. So like there is a bunch of tokens within DA that were free that everyone gets access to, and our next update will include a bunch more free tokens, like 10 to 15 more that are magic themed. And you can also download tokens from the asset workshop by going to the token section here. If you click that, and you can just sort by tokens and start downloading, you know, any tokens you want. There are, you could sort by most recent or most popular, and there's pages and pages and pages. Oh, there should be more than that, I thought. Well, anyway. Oh, those are just characters. There's monsters as well. And then also NPCs. There's really no plans for that, Will. I don't think that'll change, to be honest with you. Additionally, you can use the asset importer located here. If you, let's say, supported any Humble Bundles and have tons of tokens, or maybe you've bought tokens online, or you've purchased Hero Forge tokens and exported them as like a 3D file for print, for 3D print instead of for, say, for a digital like direct link, you can import 3D files through the asset importer. Here is kind of a neat little abstract 3D file my wife whipped up for Monty, the cat that you saw earlier on stream. You know, Brendan, there's a lot of tools out there. I would recommend starting with something that is free and doesn't overwhelm you. You know, there's a bunch of tools out there that can, you know, that are free. However, some are a little bit kind of crazy to learn right off the bat, especially if you get intimidated by computer stuff. So, you know, take your time there. But there's lots of tutorials and videos available. Like a free tool that I've used many times in the past is called Tinkercad, and it's great for making basic shapes and models. And it's a good way to get started as it's free and web-based. So essentially you just need a computer and an internet connection. Now, there are other tools that are free that are much more advanced, like Blender, for instance, is a much more advanced tool that you can do tons with, including, you know, painting objects and reshaping them and stuff like that. But you will have to dive in and learn a lot more. We do offer, Asmodeus, who is talking to you right now on YouTube, tomorrow is offering a Blender teach out in our Discord, where you can drop by and get like a live stream teach out of some pro tips for Blender. Asmodeus actually is incredibly talented, and he works for Pixar, so he knows what he's doing with this stuff. But yeah, we have no plans for 3D exports or 3D file exports. If we do offer anything, it would be a VTT Lite. Like, you would essentially play limited VTT aspects within DA, or there might be a companion app that works well with our DAM files. All right, everyone. I'm hitting the edge of the wall here. I am not doing good today, so I am going to wrap up the stream. I'm sorry for cutting it short after an hour. I'm still incredibly under the weather, and I'm hoping I'll be better by Monday, so streams will get back to normal by Monday. Please take it easy this weekend, and tomorrow will be a stream in our Discord, which is Asmodeus sharing his Blender tutorial. I'll be moderating that, but I won't be streaming, so I'll just be kind of around in the chat lurking and recording it so we can make a video of it later, put on YouTube. But other than that, I should be back Monday with Mapmaker Monday across all our platforms. If you're not sure what Mapmaker Monday is, it's a live map build where I build a map in real time. You can watch, learn, and ask questions. It's an AMA format and allows you to essentially learn DA from someone who spent 2,000 plus hours in it. I have a lot of experience making maps, looking through maps, understanding how to do very advanced concepts and very simple concepts. So I'm here for you every Monday on these varied platforms to provide you with live support. You can give me suggestions and feedback. You can ask me questions, etc. I will be finishing up a build that I did as a themed build on Mapmaker Monday on Monday called the Dam Challenge Gallery. I'll just open it up so y'all can see it really quick before we wrap up. This should be done. Like, this is the last stream for it, I'm pretty sure. I'm hoping it'll be done. There is going to be a lot of objects that you can recolor, but I would like especially potions in the next update, and portals and things like that. But I will say that a lot of object manipulation, object coloring, stuff like that will likely come in our Fun with Objects update, which is a slated update that's planned for, sometime in the near future. Our next update is Magic, and then we have 5 more planned updates after that were part of our Kickstarter. So last week on the stream, I built this little concession booth in this huge gallery. This gallery is essentially a living museum that will showcase the maps that have won the Dam Challenge. So you can see here there's a top-down of a map and then various angles of the map that I took shots and incorporated images into paintings. And then you have objects from the build that are part of it. So every room is essentially another winner of a Dam Challenge, which is an ongoing map making contest we host here every other Saturday. So every other Saturday is the Dam Challenge, every other Saturday is the Dam Stream. By the way, there's only like 6 days left to enter the Dam Challenge. So if you're considering participating, the next Dam Challenge is Siege, and essentially just got to make a map using that as inspiration. Share it in our Discord channel, in the Dam Challenge, in Discord in our Dam Challenge channel. And if your map is picked as the winner, your map is the first map showcased on the stream, and you get a $10 Hero Forge gift card. Your map is promptly featured in the Cartomancer Chronicles and shared on our social networking. So essentially, it gets a lot of eyes on your map and your creativity. And lastly, it's shared in this gallery, where there is rows and rows and rows of winning maps from past events that everyone will eventually be able to check out. I've got some finishing touches on this and a couple more rooms, but overall this is done. Many different assets can be changed, their color. Some have a hue shifter. Like some objects, you can change the hue of it. I'll show you an example here. This table. Oh, there are some. I feel like it's like mostly chairs and stuff. Yeah, like this stool. Some objects have this hue shifter where you can slightly shift through the hue and change the color. This is not really changing the color, it's changing the hue. So it's taking the existing color and shifting it. Now there's black, there's white. You can do quite a bit with it, and many objects have this. Now, there's also an assortment of objects that have pre-configured color sets. You might be familiar with like our crystals, for instance. If you place a crystal, there's a palette of colors that you can change through. So depending on the object type, its simplicity or the amount of beauty that the devs want to showcase in it, they may offer a hue shifter like this that is a simple just change the hue of the object versus pre-configured colors that are set up and very well done. They are fine-tuned by the artist, so they have good shading and like look really good in all light. So many objects in the new update will feature that. You can do that, Brendan. You can totally do that. I'm going to blow your mind right now. I'm going to change every light on this map to a different color, okay? Let's say I don't like this color and I want to change it to something else, okay? Click on this. You click on the light, just any of the lights in the map. Click the light filter. You can brush multiple candles. You can change the color or the brightness of multiple light sources at once. I'm going to show you a few things. So I'm going to change the color of this and change the brightness up. I'm going to hit Controls Copy, or you can go up to here to edit and hit Copy. It's Command if you're on Mac, and then you hit Control V, and then this can quickly be dragged across the map. Anywhere you drag it, if there's a light source, I'm just going to do this section to show you. All that is changed to blue. That's a quick way to quickly change all the lights in an area to a different color or to a different brightness. Turn them all on, turn them all off. Oh, we're getting raided by Nikki. Hey, how we doing? How are you, Nikki? I appreciate you being here. I'm so sorry. I'm not like the best right now. I'm under the weather and not my best self today. So apologize if I'm like a little, if I don't sound as enthusiastic as normal. I've been like sick all week. It's been blah. How was your stream? What were you streaming? Tell me about it. How was the NNO crew today? Now, the last thing, if you want to paint like candles, Brendan, you could go to the object painter, which is under the object panel, not object panel. I don't know what that is, but here it says paint objects, and we actually have a section dedicated to candles. So you could adjust the brush size, adjust the brush density, and paint candles all over your map if you wanted to. This brush is actually getting an improvement in the next update, and I'm very excited for that. There's 2 new brush types being added to it. One is a circle brush that you can do a complete circle of objects really quickly. I'll show a quick demo of that if anyone wants to check it out. So imagine, quick goblin fort or a fairy ring or a circle of stones or bones or candles or something. You could quickly make a circle of objects using the object brush. And there's one new variant of the brush that allows you to just kind of paint in a line. So you could paint this in a non-circle, so like an S shape or whatever you want. Unfortunately, I don't have a video of that. But soon. There's a lot of improvements coming in our next update that I'm very excited for. I will. Hey, you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for raiding. I appreciate you. I actually got to reach out to you soon. We'll chat very soon. And yeah. Thank you for being here. And I know, crew, if you have any questions about what you're seeing here, please let me know. I'd be glad to answer them. We have a big update planned that I'm hoping it should be out in the next 30, 40 days. That's kind of the hustle and bustle is before the end of May, is kind of what I'm hearing. At least internally. That could be, you know, right at the end of May. It could be any time in May. It could be, it still could be after May. We could lean into June if something complex comes up. But right now, there is a lot of talk about things happening soon. I've been tasked with reaching out to, you know, outlets and putting together content and a stream schedule. So things are getting pretty serious. So it's a lot more soon TM than normal. Hey, how you doing, Lethris? Welcome back. Welcome back, my friend. What's kicking? Hey, Ricky, Rev, what's going on? A lot of people here. Cool. Y'all love these teasers then. You'll see some cool stuff in the next few minutes before we wrap up. The TM is getting much smaller, yes. I'm not sure what this room type is. I guess a pocket dimension? Kinda feels like that. It kind of does look like Tron, huh, Lava Kitten? The grid. I tried to picture bits of information as it moved through the computer. What does it look like? So, Dungeon Alchemist is an AI-powered map maker, Nixel, that allows you to use our AI, or you can build entirely by hand. So you can use all the tools and object sets and room types and environments to build a map entirely by hand if you choose. Or you can use our procedural AI, which was trained entirely in-house. We didn't scrape any public data. We didn't grab any public maps or art or assets from the web to build Dungeon Alchemist or train our AI. So it was trained entirely in-house, and all of our assets were created entirely in-house by a very talented team of artists. So we took a very ethical and above-board approach to AI development, and we feel using AI to make maps for tabletop gaming is a very cool and great use for AI. So essentially, we don't, you know, like, so if you share a map on the workshop, we're not going to steal that map and use it to train the AI. We don't do that. Okay. And another thing with our AI, I wouldn't compare it to like next gen, like generative AI, like you see with Midjourney or Dolly or ChatGPT. We're more like last gen AI. It's procedural AI has been around for a while. I'm sure you've played video games that have procedural generation where it generates a new map in front of you or a whole new like encounter for you on the fly. A lot of games do that. Games like Minecraft, for instance, are procedurally generated. So you've probably used something to that extent in the past. Skyrim, yes. There are plenty of games that offer procedural generation. For instance, like in GTA, the environment isn't procedurally generated, but the way the AI interacts with the environment and like moves and does things, the cars, the people in them, I'm pretty sure it's procedurally generated. This little video you're seeing here is a great example of how you'll be able to shape buildings in the next update to essentially your every whim. You'll be able to make round shapes, diagonal shapes, use them in tandem with each other. You can actually do cutouts, so you can have a piece like a bite out instead of like a round out bump out. It's a round cut in. You can rotate the structure before you generate it. You can move the structure before you generate it. If you're in an environmental biome like a forest or a dune, or you can raise the building up and down before you generate it. This right here is very important. Being able to move a building, so you can generate it off to the side, make the structure, and then move it over before you click the check mark. You know what I mean? And then the AI will tell you it's not going to work unless it's at this specific angle. Now, I will tell you, it's going to be hard to connect these two unless you do it as you build the whole shape. So think of the hallways as you're generating structures, maybe connect the hallway between them, and then change the interior of the hallway after the fact with a new AI generation of just that strip. But then at least that way you have connected structures. I'm hoping within the next 30 to 40 days we'll have some teaser streams, we'll have much more concrete data about launch or the update, etc. What is this? Oh, that was a crystal from earlier. Can you load a vector as a baseline? What do you mean, like as a trace or something? So in our trace setup here, you have the option to insert map overlays and trace them. So our AI won't do something like that. So if you put in a trace, it'd be like, oh, you wanted to make a map based off of this, whatever. No, you can import an image and trace it out yourself for sure and generate the rooms with AI. In fact, I'll show you really quickly if you want. But after that, I've got to wrap up the stream. So I've pre-generated some Donjon maps on their dungeon generator. We actually partnered with Donjon to make sure that their maps fit with Dungeon Alchemist tracing very well. And after the new update, you'll be able to do all sorts of weird shaped runes as well. But I generated this some time ago. It's called the Shrine of Samutu, and it's 39 by 51. Now, Donjon hallways are 10 by 10, or their squares are 10 by 10, not 5 by 5, so technically I could double this. But if you leave it as a standard measurement in DA, 39 by 51, it'll still work, it'll just be 5-foot hallways. So I'm going to generate a new map that is, let's do double that. So we'll do, what is it? 78 by 102, right? And I'm going to do no vegetation. We're just going to generate it with no lights. Oh no, it was 68 by 102, isn't it? No, it's 78. That's right. Anyway. If you go into the tracing setup here, now this will work with any old map you find online too, but it's a little bit harder to line up quite like this. We'll do this one though. And as you can see, that is almost a perfect match. Let's go into the settings here. We'll enable the grid. Get to be graphical glitch there. Anyway. If you zoom out now, you have a tracing layer and the mapping layer, right? So just to give you an example, let's say I wanted to make this elaborate. Generated a quick lab, and then to use castles or trips, we have like hallway thing. I'm gonna just drag this all the way to the big hallway. As long as it's one piece, it'll generate as one solid hall. So I'm going to try and get as much of this as one piece as I can. This is really a great way to save you time too when you're generating structures, is to try and get as much of it as a single solid structure. So I generate that. Probably should have generated that without windows. Made a mistake there, but it's okay. So now I've got these hallways. The tracing layer is a little obnoxious at this point. It's kind of hard to see over. I can click it, adjust the transparency. Go back to the map. And as you can see, I'm generating within this cave. There's rock wall all around it. To work with it, I can, let's put a dungeon cell right here. Maybe another one right there. So good. Put a little hallway piece there. But you see what I've done here really quickly is just kind of use the trace layer to map out a quick dungeon, essentially, that I generated online. Hey, welcome, Blueberry Bean. You can also guide the AI by adjusting it so you could tell it to generate with, say, without windows, without doors, without objects, without walls even, so it's just a blank floor. Last and but not least, I really love that you can delete these structures after the fact, and then it just leaves like a blank cave there that carved out of it. Let me turn off this grid so it's not so overpowered. And we'll go back into the overlay layer. But as you can see, it's really starting to take shape and match that form above it really well. I feel like I've done one of these before. Like here's one I whipped up in the past that was just like a rapid dungeon I made. Took me like 20 minutes to make. Like a stair, a pathway in, boom. There's like a weird little rock room, go through. Got some lava pits. Here's just like a weird kind of something with something chained in the center. I was going to put a monster or something that they could either help or hurt. Here's a bottomless pit. Like I made a bunch of little random challenges. It didn't take me long. And like I said, because I reached out to Donjon, if you use their dungeon generator, it's like a perfect match for our setup as far as tracing is concerned. So the one thing though is you need to make sure for now until the update launches that you make sure it's a rectangle. Let's see, nope, the room type has to be, you don't want any polymorphed rooms. So yeah, that will mean there will be no like round rooms or octagon rooms for now. If you do polymorphed, and it should construct a dungeon. Huh, why is everything... That's so weird. Anyway, but yeah, you can generate all sorts of stuff, then use this as a trace in Dungeon Alchemist. Let's see. Polymorph rooms. Yes. So, like, you notice here, there's round rooms in this build now. In our next... Oh man, I zoomed in way too far. Yeah, I'm going to zoom out. So you could generate a dungeon, match it perfectly, because the dungeon info, once you hit construct, both in the name of the dungeon and in the description of the dungeon. So right here in the description, it tells you the size, and when you export it, it's in the file name as well. So you can pretty much generate a dungeon quickly and then trace it out in minutes if you want to. I think I timed myself once, and this one particularly took me maybe 30 minutes to do all the finer detail. The longest part of the entire build was raising the cave wall up to match the edges of the wall, because I hate it when it's not. So what I did was I used the raise cave area tool and set it as a massive brush and just went around like this after I traced out the whole dungeon, like cut it all out. I used this tool to quickly bring the rock wall facing to its edge. The devs don't like the rock wall tight like this because it makes the 3D perspective awkward and hard to see down some hallways. I personally like it this way. This is just a personal preference. So if you do this, it's just a matter of choice. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. I'm not feeling the best, and so I'm going to get some rest. I appreciate you, damn fam, for being here, hanging out with me, sharing your knowledge, kicking the knowledge, if you will, talking about the next update, sharing your hype with us for the next update. I hope that we can share a date very soon. Yep. If you delete the room here, like this, now it's like a carved rock space. Looks really good. I'm just gonna hide the trace layer. So you can see the difference. Yeah, it won't match perfectly with official ones, but as long as you get a good image, like if you download an image online that's like a 300 by 500 pixel map, it's not going to be a very good trace source. If you get a big, large trace source to start with from the source material or online somewhere from like let's say you have D&D Beyond, you can get the maps in a big, huge, nice format, and you can use those as a trace. They do work, but the key is lining them up. Sometimes the artist scaling is different than, say, a normal scale. Or sometimes they put a grid on it and the grid is set to 10 by 10 instead of 5 by 5. Or it doesn't tell you the size. And so you got to make some speculation. It's very possible to trace maps from other modules, and many people have done it. You can even trace caves and the like. And like I said earlier, how we, if we delete a room in this, that also allows it to kind of feel like it's a cave. Delete that room. And now it just feels like a cavern that was carved, right? Maybe put a stair here. It's a structural stair, because the downstairs sink into the floor, and we don't want that. Something like this, right? Just put it right there. And that's like the entry point from above, which you would have like a hole with a staircase in it or something like that, or maybe a basement with a stair in it. Disable those decisions, you can much more fun. Try and match it up size and then just blend it in. See, that looks really good. Anyway, I appreciate you all very much for being here. I am going to wrap up the stream, and we will see you next time. I give a damn, all right? Back out. Bye. Bye. I'm going to try and get feeling better by Monday. Thanks, everyone, for the well wishes. We'll see you later.